We've been hand rearing blue tit chicks at CBU, basically to develop our skill set around working with passerines, and because they act as a really good proxy species for other species that we may work with in the future, such as willow tits.
This work links to willow tits as it gains us a basic understanding of working with something so different to what we're used to, namely waders. So working with tiny eggs that weigh about 1.2 grams, chicks that when hatched about 1 gram. So practicing with something so small is totally different, and we need to gain a basic understanding.
So this work is really important in terms of what we might do with willow tits moving forward. So willow tits are the fastest declining resident species of bird in the UK. They've declined by 90% in recent years. They are also obviously a wetland species. They're found in wet woodlands, and you can actually find them at 3 of WWT sites. So Martinmere, Washington and Llanelli all have willow tit residents. Been working with the reserve teams over there to kind of monitor them and kind of look into how they use that environment and how we might be able to use that in a future project. On the team that have been working with the blue tits, I have myself, Will, James, Rosa, our vet, and Nige primarily in terms of the feeding the birds. And then we've had help from the whole rest of the team at CBU, building the aviaries, setting up the infrastructure and stuff like that. So it's been a real team effort.
So I was part of the application process by supplying a document called Disease Risk Assessment. And it's a document that reviews all the necessary biosecurity measures that would need to be in place throughout the project, but also the different potential health hazards that could be present throughout the project at the different stages.
So the stages of this project, we started off by setting up nest boxes in the decoy wood here at Slimbridge, which we then monitored until we had active nests that we could take eggs from under license from Natural England. We then followed up by collecting those eggs, bringing them here to CBU and putting them into incubators here in our biosecure water cabin on site. These incubators would be temperature controlled, humidity controlled, so the eggs are in the exact right environment that they need.
Once those eggs have hatched, we then feed the chicks from about 1 to 3 days every hour from 6 AM till 10 PM, which then increases in time frame up until about 3 hours when chicks are about 20 days old and fledged, and then we put them into fledgling cages.
Then during the project, I was responsible for the health care of the birds. And if there were any health concerns, then the team would contact me and would figure out a treatment or a solution for, to deal with the concern.
After that, we then put them into this release pen, and then they will be released.
So all of the blue tits we've reared during this trial have been individually colour rung using rings just like these ones. So these have been given to them in kind of unique colour combinations so that each bird can be identified individually. We're going to be looking out for them and monitoring them as much as we can around Slimbridge, but we're always open to hearing from anyone else who happens to see them around the site. It would be great if you could get in touch and let us know how they're doing.
Favourite moment from the trial is getting the birds to a stage where they are capable of feeding for themselves. It means we've done something right in the build up to that stage and the early rearing stages and incubation. And then once they're released, that'll be the best part of the whole thing.
Seeing the birds poop, because it's always something, it just shows that everything's going right. Especially when you're expecting them to after a meal, and if they don't, that flags a bit of a concern of, oh, something might be happening. So poos and sharing the poo photos between us.
I have to say, I really enjoyed seeing the birds go into the fledgling cages. Actually, it's really, really exciting to see them kind of discovering the world around them, learning how to use their wings and their beaks and pecking at everything and pulling each other's tails and things like that. So during this trial, we have basically learned that the work of a blue tit parent is very, very intense. They work really, really hard. This trial has been a little bit different to the species we usually work with, so like godwits and curlews, which have quite comparatively long incubation and rearing periods. These ones are much, much quicker. It's a short period, but it's really, really intense. So you're coming back and you're feeding little and often, essentially. So we've basically learned to be a blue tit parent and be very, very attentive.